Welcome to my town, St. Augustine, Florida, the nation's oldest city. St. Augustine was founded in 1565 by Don Pedro Menendez de Avilés. This is the entrance to the city gates. This was the only way in and the only way out. It was originally built to protect the city. St. Augustine was a walled city to keep out the invaders. As you walk through the city gates, you can walk down St. George Street in the nation's oldest city. As you walk down the street, you will find over 240 shops and stores. There is something for everyone. Before we continue on here, let me just tell you a little interesting story. Back in the 1870s, there was a man here in St. Augustine, his name Bishop Verot. Bishop Verot became the first Catholic bishop here in St. Augustine to the beautiful St. Augustine Cathedral Church right downtown. Now, Bishop Verot was a very, very well-loved man. But folks, on a hot June day in 1881, old Bishop Verot died here in St. Augustine, and we did not have an embalmer here at that time. Now, Bishop Verot was Catholic, so they were going to have his services at the beautiful St. Augustine Cathedral Church, and he was going to be interned here. But folks, Bishop Verot was so well loved that there were people in Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina that all wanted to journey here to St. Augustine to attend Bishop Verot's funeral. So how were they going to preserve his body long enough for all these people to arrive here? They tried several things, you know. They dug a hole in the ground, filled the hole with sawdust, put him in a hole. That didn't work. They put him in a hole with the sawdust, then they had ice shipped in. They poured ice all over him, but it was so hot the ice melted. Well, that didn't work either. But then somebody came up with a clever idea. They said, what we're going to do here is we're going to build an airtight metal coffin, but half the top of the coffin will be made in glass. We'll place Bishop Verot in the coffin with his hands folded over his chest, the cross around his neck, and people can walk by the church and see him in there. Hey, that will work. That's the ticket. That's what we're going to do. So they built this beautiful airtight metal coffin. Half the top was made in glass. Bishop Verot was placed inside, his hands folded over his chest, the cross around his neck, and they were having the services at beautiful St. Augustine Cathedral Church. But folks, what happens to a human body when it starts to decompose? It begins building up with gases internally. Bishop Verot just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger in that metal coffin. And right in the middle of Bishop Verot's own eulogy, he literally explodes inside the coffin. Blew the glass right out of the top of the coffin. Old Bishop Verot was out flying all over the place. They said the smell was horrendous. The church was vacated in a heartbeat. But now they got a problem because nobody wants to go back in the church because of that god-awful smell. But two guys did volunteer. They put bandanas around their noses and mouths, so they went back in there and started picking up all the bits and pieces of Bishop Verot, throwing him back in the old metal coffin. They took the broken glass off, used that as a template to make a slab of concrete to go where the glass was. They sealed that coffin up good and tight, brought the coffin back to the cemetery, and ladies and gentlemen, look right at the back of the cemetery, because in that little mausoleum at the back of the cemetery today is Bishop Verot, or what's left of him, still in his metal coffin. And I guarantee you that if you went in there today and you cracked that old coffin open, you probably have the same smell they had here in 1881. As you probably already guessed, I am the sheriff here in St. Augustine, and I'm a ghost here. I was killed here 95 years ago. So if you'd like to hear some more ghost stories and some more tales about this old city, just go to the front desk at the Ramada Historic, buy your tickets, come and join me on one of these ghostly tours, if you dare.